Welcome back. Well, in the last episode, we talked about how we might successfully engage our board in board meetings. And I talked about 3 specific agenda items that should be part of the overall discussion of enterprise cyber risk management. As a quick reminder, number 1, to talk about your risks and your treatment of those risks. Number 2, to talk about your program advancement, considering governance, people, process, technology, and engagement. And number 3, talk about current events and board education opportunities. And so in this episode, I'm going to switch gears a little bit and cover a subject that I've mentioned in pretty much every other episode, if not every episode. And that is, on what does one base their enterprise cyber risk management program? Of course, you've heard me talk about it not being controls checklist based. You've heard me talk about don't rely on vulnerability scans, penetration tests. All of those things could be controls are part of the story, vulnerability scans part of the story, pen test part of the story. But if we really want to treat this as a program and as an ongoing initiative, we need to have some strong foundation on what to base our work. For me, I highly recommend, highly advise you to consider the approach that has been put forth by the National Institute of Standards and Technology. There's a complete compendium of documents that cover cyber risk management and the multitude of aspects of enterprise cyber risk management. In this episode, I'm going to focus on my top 3 reasons for adopting the NIST approach. Although I'm going to admit right up front, I'm going to cheat and I'm going to break my rule of 3s and go well beyond that. I think it's such an important subject. Before we dive into the content, as always, I want to provide a quick reminder of where we are in the overall series. We're actually at episode number 27 of 28. In total, I've recorded 30, including the introduction and the epilogue. We're coming down the home stretch. As a quick reminder, all of the episodes are posted on this YouTube channel. If you've not already done so, please subscribe so that you may be notified of any changes that we may make or any new materials we make available, number 1. Number 2, feel free to provide any feedback that you may have. And number 3, if you have any friends or colleagues whom you believe may benefit from the material we've covered here, feel free to share the YouTube channel with them. So here we go. There are 15 solid reasons to adopt the NIST approach to enterprise cyber risk management. And yes, I'm breaking my rule of 3, even though I show 3 on this slide. I'm going to present all 15 reasons to you. But my top 3 reasons are shown here. Number 1, NIST leverages all the current standards, guidelines, and best practices from a number of internationally recognized sources. Number 2, it has become a standard for the U.S. government. Not long ago, an executive order was issued that requires the heads of all the departments in the executive branch to adopt the NIST cybersecurity framework, which is just one part of all of what NIST has to offer. Number 3, it is emerging as a national standard across industries. And I would encourage you to think about that in the context of your supply chain and vendor risk management. So let me go on from there. Another reason, number 4, the NIST approach is one of the standards cited in H.R. 7898, a bill that was mislabeled as the Hipaa Safe Harbor Bill. That's not the case at all. The bill simply amends Hipaa in such a way that the Office for Civil Rights may take into account whether or not an organization has adopted or used recognized security standards, one of which are all the standards based on NIST. And by the way, the other set of standards that are recognized is the whole body of work that's been done by a group under CISA Section 405D. Number 5, the NIST approach was developed using an open, inclusive process. There is rarely a document that is published by NIST that does not include industry involvement from all industries. Number 6, NIST uses accessible language that all stakeholders in your organization can understand. I remember a number of years ago speaking with Matt Barrett, who at the time was heading up the overall initiative to build out the NIST cybersecurity framework. And the way Matt put it was, as it relates to the framework, we chose 5 8th grade level verbs to describe the framework: identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And if you think about that, anyone in your organization, from the boardroom to the engine room, ought to be able to get their brain around what's required in the NIST cybersecurity framework. NIST facilitates information governance. It's spelled out clearly in the framework and a number of other documents as well. Number 8, the framework is directly aligned with Hipaa requirements. In fact, there's been a crosswalk that's been done between the elements of the Hipaa regulation, Hipaa security rule, and the cybersecurity framework. Number 9, the NIST approach has been endorsed by healthcare industry heavyweights, including HIMSS, the Healthcare Information Management and Systems Society. Number 10, most healthcare organizations, according to surveys, have adopted the NIST cybersecurity framework. Number 11, it's highly customizable. You can tailor the approach and the framework itself to your unique needs. In fact, a framework can be thought of pretty much as an architectural rendering describing what you need to do. How you actually go about doing it can be done on the basis of all the other resources that NIST provides. Number 12, it's highly scalable. Whether you're a single doc medical practice or one of the largest publicly traded hospital companies in the US, or one of the large integrated delivery networks, or anywhere in the healthcare supply chain, you can tailor the requirements of the NIST approach to your particular needs. Number 13, it's affordable. That translates into free. All of the resources from NIST are in the public domain and available for your use anytime. Number 14, it does not require certification, which in and of itself can be a dubious matter. We have found that organizations that have sought out highly expensive certifications have neither been compliant nor secure when they really needed to be. And last but not least, and number 15, it is designed to accommodate changes in technology. In fact, it is technology agnostic, as well as changes in the threat landscape. So I strongly encourage you to consider the NIST approach and all the free resources that are available as the basis for your enterprise cyber risk management program. As always, I'm ending the session with a set of suggested actions as well as a number of references and resources. I'll draw your attention to the 6th bullet point down, choosing an information risk management framework. The case for the NIST cybersecurity framework in healthcare organizations, a white paper I wrote a number of years ago. I think it's highly applicable to where we are today. I encourage you, while the material is still fresh in your mind, to consider undertaking some of the actions and referring to and reading some of the references and resources that are provided. In the next episode, which will serve as a bit of a wrap-up, I'm going to present to you an answer to the question, now what? We've covered a great deal of material over the course of all of these episodes, and how do you tease out of that material the next things to do, or what I call your next immediate actions. In the upcoming episode, I will recommend a strategic action, a tactical action, and an operational action. Until then, if you've not already done so, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you've enjoyed this content today or in some of the other episodes, give the episode a thumbs up. Be well, be secure, and I'll see you in episode number 28. Thank you.